Students face a very different world than the one we knew just a few years ago. The issues that they have to deal with and the stress and depression that these issues can often bring can be too much for them to even handle. Psychologists have reported that over 160,000 students stay home every day because of being bullied. Bullying also has a negative impact on student morale, learning, and achievement. 14% of surveyed students in grades 8 to 12 and 22% in grades 4 to 8 report that bullying diminished their ability to learn in school. The weight of fear and depression does so much damage that many students who are victims of bullying consider suicide as a viable option. In a recent survey of bullied male and female students, 26% of females experienced moderate to severe depression, while 8% of those were suicidal. 16% of the males admitted to being depressed. 4% of those admitted to being suicidal. The harsh reality is that we are losing so many of our young people because they are forced to hide their feelings and the shame of being abused and bullied by their peers. This is where the If You Really Knew Me movement comes in. If You Really Knew Me movement was created to facilitate a safe environment for students to feel comfortable to take their masks off and to share their stories. In this environment, honesty and acceptance is encouraged, and it's ultimately rewarded. When people ask what we do, they often expect this long and complicated answer full of numbers and statistics and activities and such. While there is a proper time and place for all that to be discussed, the simplest and most honest statement about what we can do can be summed up in one simple phrase: we save lives. So walk with us through the If You Really Knew Me process. You will see how lives are changed through the life experience days, and you will hear from students and teachers how their lives and paradigms are changed and shifted for the better. This is our story.
My name is Joshua Johnson, and this is my story.
And this is my story.
And this is my story.
This is my story.
This is my story.
My name is Hannah Montgomery, and this is my story.
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 Being a principal here at the high school, one of my goals and mission is to try to build a positive relationship with all of my students here so that they will know that there is one adult for sure that cares about them and wants the best for them. Since I have been here, this has been one of the most rewarding experiences that I have ever had in my life.
Today's experience was phenomenal. I learned a lot about a ton of people I would have never known, and it gave me a chance to open up to myself and to others, and it was just a great experience.
No matter how someone may look on the outside, you never know what they have on the inside.
Today really helped me to open my eyes and to have more courage, more happiness. And I thank God that I had a chance to experience this wonderful thing.
The feelings that I had of embarrassment and humiliation, they never really left. I just kind of put them beside. But If You Really Knew Me came to my school today, and I'm finally able to let those feelings go, and it was just an all-around good experience.
We talked talked today about labels and how you have to shed the labels, and it really does make you see that everyone that has a certain label, that there's actually more to them than just what they do, that they actually have like feelings, and that, you know, you can't just judge everybody based on what you think you see, what you think you know, because there's really a deeper person down in there. It allows you to see that everyone has problems. It's not just you that's going through struggles in your life. It was an amazing experience, and it really made me look at everyone in a different way.
And this is your moment right now. Your story might save somebody's life. Cross over the line if you feel lonely. Cross over the line if you feel physically unattractive. If you've ever experienced the effects of drug addiction. Cross over the line if you've ever experienced suicidal thoughts at some point. Cross over the line if you have cried at least once this year. Your story might save somebody's life.
When I was 7 years old, I lost my dad and my stepmother. What happened was he killed his wife, and after that, he turned the gun on himself. This experience has been very hard for me. I've always thought it was my fault, and I've been carrying it around with me for a while, and it's just been pulling down on me. But today, the If You Really Knew Me program really helped me a lot. It helped me to realize that it's okay to talk to someone, and it's okay.
Seth Sanford, the one that had the gothic look, and I don't know if you remember when the process, he said, everybody was religious but him. He stayed on the side by himself. Well, then you got Hakeem, who everybody wants to be around, the star guy. He's, star on the basketball team, star on the baseball team, big time Hakeem. And both of them told me afterwards that Seth came to me and said, he's cool. And Hakeem came to me and said, he's cool. And they both said they never would have taken the time to come together to even hold a conversation if it had not been for that. And from that day till school was out, every day I saw them, they walk by each other and do the speak and give a high five. And, they didn't necessarily hold a long conversation, but they acknowledged each other every day. That had not happened until that. Now to me, that was the word.
We all have a story to share. And as we move through this life, we are affected and shaped by our families, our circumstances, and our associations. Our successes bring us confidence, and our failures bring us shame. And while we come from all walks of life and different circumstances, our stories have all intersected in school. These interactions and the choices that we made there ultimately determined what we have become. It is at this intersection that we are confronted with this simple but yet profound question. Does anyone really know us, or are these relationships built on a facade? Sadly, we live in a world of masks and misconceptions. You have seen the impact that the If You Really Knew Me movement has made in the lives of students who have gone through a life experience. You have heard their stories. You have felt their pain. No doubt, you can identify with some of their stories. Perhaps you had to deal with some similar situations when you were a student in school. You know what it feels like to be alone, mistreated, and even misunderstood. Maybe you've been looking for a chance to give back and make an impact in the lives of the next generation. Oh, this is your moment. Now that you know their story, you have an opportunity to step up and lend your voice to this cause. You can make your story a part of our story. That is what this movement is all about. Linking students, and teachers, and parents, and superintendents, and leaders in the community to make an enduring change in the way that we approach life. You see, the best way we at the movement can tell our story is by providing you with the chance to tell yours. Because your story is our story.